everyone, and welcome back to the Slay to Success Talk Show. If you are here tonight with us, make sure you are in the comments and telling us where you're viewing in from. Y'all, we're going to have a special show tonight, okay? Because what happened is it was divinely created. So, as you know, I was to be on here all by myself. And you know how I can handle it, y'all. I can handle it by myself, but it's so much better when I have a guest on the show. So I put it out there, hey, I'm coming to y'all tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't you know, my retired Air Force sister from another mister pulled up and said, hey, wait a minute. Let me know if you need me to be here or if you like for me to be part of the show. And I was like, yes, what we talking about in here? And so I will get to her in just a minute, but I'll tell you, we're in for a show tonight. So buckle up, get your coffee, tea, drink of your choice, because this is the Slay to Success show. And here, this Slay to Success show is all about laying it out here and dropping gems so that way you can go out and kill it, nail it, and dominate it, whatever it is that you're doing. This is where we get to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream and work hard until we own it. SLAY, as you know, is an acronym. Stay ready to be ready. Lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. And Slay to Success is a movement, y'all. Okay? Things are happening left and right. I'll tell you, if you are not zeroed in on Slay to Success, especially if you are a woman who is working in an executive leadership role or a woman who is transitioning from a long career, listen, we about stepping up and building our authentic personal brand, all right, in the confidence that we know we have so we can gain lucrative opportunities. This is not low drag, okay? We're talking about high speed. So in this conversation that we have, making sure that you know how to get in touch with me, how I'm moving and shaking out here. I've got downloads, consultations. I'm styling folks now, y'all. All right. Didn't even know that was something that I was going to be doing in this next chapter, but that's what I'm doing. All right. I have a private Facebook membership group. We got personal branding, one-on-one courses, strategize your next chapter program. It's all encompassing. So if you don't not know, but I'll just clue you in. I'm a professional keynote speaker. I am a personal brand expert. I am a self-published author of the book titled Slay to Success, and I'm also a leadership consultant. And you all know that I am a United States Air Force veteran and spent 30 years, all right, leading and serving. So tonight, y'all, we're going to talk about the unicorn phenomenon. So when MaryAnn put out to the whole world, all right, that she is called the Unicorn Realtor, and she's been on here before, y'all. So she was my very first guest. So if you have not tuned in on YouTube and watched that video, I highly recommend after you watch this tonight that you go back into the YouTube, all right, subscribe to my channel, first of all, and then look at it and just really listen in to what was being said. And then you're going to be fired up. Okay, you're going to want to go out there and do all the things. So let me just say, okay, the introduction to MaryAnn is just filled with so many juicy. All right, she's a serial entrepreneur. She is a retired United States Air Force veteran, and she's also a retired chief. And she has a nonprofit now, y'all. Okay. She is about the business. So let me just go ahead and bring her on stage. Welcome, my sister from another mister.
What's up, Slay to Success family? I'm so excited that I'm able to tune in today.
Yes.
At the last minute with this unicorn phenomenon that she put out on Facebook. So I'm excited to be able to tune in and hopefully share some gems with y'all.
Oh, that's not a hope. This is definitely going to be an amazing show, a slay amazing show. And so we've got, okay, Keith is in the building. All right. So I see you, Keith. In fact, me, MaryAnn, we're going to be seeing you in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Because he getting ready retire, y'all.
That's
And
right.
so we're going to have this big old party. So Keith, we coming for you. All right. I got Marcia here, my queen, another retired chief, and she is all about the fashion. She is all about leadership. He said, "Where is your theme music? We gonna get that. We gonna have to get that together because I don't know all the things behind the scenes, Keith. But yes, MaryAnn definitely needs theme music. So Keith a mess. Okay, he on here. He gonna be dropping all kinds of comments in here. I already know he is.
Yeah,
So keep dropping them, Keith, and stay with us because the Eagles aren't playing tonight. So that's how MaryAnn is here with us tonight. Because if they were playing, she wouldn't be here, y'all.
that's
Okay.
right. Go
And
birds
so
all the way. Tomorrow
yeah,
morning,
so
tomorrow night.
I'm just saying it was supposed to be this way. So
Yep.
okay, so let me just calm down here because I'm very excited about this. This unicorn phenomenon, if you will, people always want the unicorn. All right. So if you've ever been called a unicorn, this is where we're going to talk through this entire phenomenon. We're going to talk about it because I think that some people feel like they are on an island by themselves and they don't really know why they may call a unicorn. We're going to clearly spell that out for you and you're going to understand what you have. It is a gift. All right. When you're able to do things that people haven't been able to do, or you do it so well
Mhm.
that people are like, we want that person on the team, we're going to kind of explain that. So, first, MaryAnn put out there that she is a unicorn realtor. So, MaryAnn, tell us, like, how did that come to be?
So I didn't really label myself that, right? So honestly, I became an accidental realtor because when I retired from the military, I know one thing that I swore to myself that I am going to retire fully and not jump on another job working for another person, whether that's GS or a corporate world, right? So that's one thing that I told myself that, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to figure it out and bet on myself, right? So I have my health and wellness business, and then the realtor thing that just kind of came off of nowhere because when I was buying my retirement home in Orlando, the agent that I had just happened to like notice something in me, I guess, or whatever I exuded as a client. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, have you ever thought about being an agent?" And I'm just like, "Actually, no, but I love houses. I love HGTV. That's my other alter ego, right? I'm a, kind of like interior designer in my own space or whatnot." But then again, I was just like, "Hey, why not?" So I got into it, got licensed, passed it first time, and then it was just kind of like a side hustle thing, right? Because I still didn't figure out what I wanted to do. But you know, um, long story short, after retirement, got my health and wellness business. I've got this going on, still trying to figure out navigating through this whole entrepreneurship, right? And alongside that, I also had a two franchise stores that I was running because I used to own Auntie Anne's pretzel stores in two different states. So I had a lot of stuff going on. So real estate was just like a side hustle thing. But when I started really gaining clients and kind of putting it out there that, hey, this is kind of like my new thing. This is gonna be the bridge, from military serving in that capacity and serving this way in this industry. So I just started kind of, start helping people. So when you come from a place of love, y'all, whatever industry, whatever really like kind of like convicts your heart that this is my purpose, this is my passion, and you do it without really thinking of nothing in return, and you do it by just, serving others, that's when you know you're in that right path, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. I treat my clients, most of my clients are still military. I'm so blessed. I still say that I just retired, but I've been retired for almost 5 years, y'all. Like,
Yeah, it goes by fast.
yeah. So, but basically, they just started calling me Unicorn Realtor because God just has blessed me with some negotiating ninja skills, right? And then I'm snatching deals for people that no other agents can. Like when you talk to people, when you establish that relationship, whether they're on the other side of the sale, whether you're on this side of the sale, whoever is part of that entire team, magic happens. The unicorn comes out, right? Because believe it or not, as dark as this world is, there are still a lot of good people out there,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You just gotta really be kind and, like, you know what, exude from that spirit that you feel in your heart, that, you know what, I'm blessed that I get to wake up every day, I get to help people, and guess what, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to change not one thing except for to get better, to help others, and then hopefully, like, more blessings come your way. So, and then I just kind of got labeled that you're the unicorn realtor. Oh, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make that part of my branding, and that's kind of like what happened.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. First of all, I just love and admire you because you just be getting it done, right? And I think one of the qualities of a unicorn is to get ish done. Okay, we don't sit here and talk about it. We be about it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
when we see an opportunity, we jump on it. We don't
Mhm.
wait for somebody to tell us to pivot. We don't wait for somebody to tell us, "Hey, you might want to think about this over here." We just get after, like you said, the passion and the desire that we have for a certain thing. And
Mhm.
and we sprinkle that magic pixie dust or powder, if
Yep.
you will, on
Yep.
things. And people just don't get it. They just don't understand. I feel like when you are attached authentically to who you are, and how you are, all the other stuff just falls into place. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And and then there's other certain characteristics about it too, like that grit, that
Grit.
persistence,
Yep.
that like hold on to that vision, and
The
you see
tenacity. That's my word for the year.
there.
Tenacity is my word for this year. Because I tell you what, man, it's hard. It's rough out here. It's rough out here. But when you stay true to yourself, when you stay true to your vision, when you stay true to your dream as big as you can, that you're embarrassed to tell people, right? And
Oh,
it's because of the fact that, you know what? No one will ever understand whether that's a small dream or a big dream anyway, because God never shared that vision with them.
nope.
He shared it with you. So you just got to execute. I am a big believer of moving in silence, right? You
Mhm.
got to move in silence. You can't even really sometimes tell nobody, right?
Nope.
Sometimes I'm scared to tell myself what I'm about to do, right? Because you just don't know how that's going to evolve, right? The fear starts to sit in, and then that's when you just got to make sure that you have your plan, your strategy in place, your milestones, your goals, and timelines attached to it, because every single person writes a goal and don't ever attach any timelines, and that ever never gets done, right? You keep freaking recycling that and say, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. Get out of that get to it aisle, right? Because the best time is always yesterday, right? The second best
Mhm.
time is always now. So, it's a rough life out there, but guess what? When you bet on this, when you bet on yourself, you know your work ethic, you're not gonna quit, because somebody else is depending on you, especially if your why is so deep. My why has six eyes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have three boys. I'm a single mother. And I also have my mother that I take care of. Now I have eight eyes, right? And then I have Tommy. Now I have 10 eyes. Dang, that's a lot of pressure, right? But you can't look at it from a pressure, because pressure makes diamonds, but pressure also busts pipes, right? So which
Mhm.
one are you gonna be at? The pressure is gonna be there. So you're gonna have to embrace, okay, this pressure is allowing me to grow so I can shine bright like a diamond 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever your timelines are, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta first know that the pressure is gonna be there, because there are no pathways. I don't care how you achieve wealth, I don't care how you achieve success. But guess what? There's always pressure that's gonna get thrown your way. And how you react to that pressure and how you get up from that downfall is how you're going to determine what your future looks like, right? So,
Yes,
but yeah, man,
girl,
I mean, I get passionate like you, so we can be here all day, all night talking.
we sure can because listen, you know what? That fire you talking about, you like being in that why, or your why has six eyes, and it's so deep that you're like thinking about it constantly on how you're going to move the needle. It's
Right.
about moving it forward. And there are nights where I sit up and I'm not sleeping. All right. I don't really tell people that I'm not sleeping because I'm dreaming so big that I see it. You see things right in front of you and you're like, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Is that really my life of how I could see it in the next, 2 to 5 years? I tell you, unicorns are folks that hit the ground running. We don't need a whole bunch of information. We really don't. You know
Mm,
what I mean?
yep.
I we just go. And
Right.
we figure out, right? We put the solutions, we find out the solutions to the problems that we have, and then we keep going. And this is why people can't understand when you're moving and shaking in a certain way. They don't know what that's about. They just don't understand. I'm like, it's a unicorn effect.
Yeah, it's
It's a
it's a
unicorn.
unicorn trait. And honestly, with anything, whatever that is, dreams, goals, whatever you want to call it, right? You only need one ingredient, right? And I'm gonna tell you this secret. The only ingredient that you need is a decided heart. You just
Mm.
need a decided heart. Are you decided enough to go for that X, Y, and Z? Are you decided enough? Is your heart aligned in the right place that this is what you want to do? Because if you don't have a decided heart, that commitment ain't going to be there. That loyalty ain't going to be there. That hard work ain't going to be there. That persistence, all of the above ain't going to be there because you're going to find every single excuse why you don't deserve that, why you can't be that, why you can't get to that, because that's how the human brain works, right? We
Mhm.
are negatively wired. So you got to really be intentional in forcing your mind to pause because the negative energy is coming all different angles, right? But when you know how the law of attraction works and the law of magnetism works, guess what? You're going to be able to say, you know, you ain't coming here. You ain't coming here. No, I am deflecting all that because guess what? You ain't about to take my joy, honey. You ain't about
No.
to take my joy. Because I know my decided heart has goals, has milestones. And at the end of the day, this is what I felt God had convicted my heart to do, and this is what I'm gonna do. Nobody else needs no your permission. Nobody else need your permission to move forward, and you don't need nobody else's validation for you to move forward. Period. Right? You don't need. But guess what? You got to start with you, and then once you start really gathering all the other unicorns around you, man, that is gonna be a beautiful, beautiful
It,
space to be in.
it's the
Because
rainbow. You know what
it's
I mean?
a
And
rainbow.
it's the rainbow that I always see behind a unicorn. All
Yeah,
right. It's just like the overflow, the way that it's built and designed.
right.
We create the circle, all right, of other unicorns who are out in the wilderness and they're trying to figure out, hey, what is it that I have? This
Mhm.
shine, this light,
Yeah,
all the things that I'm able to do. And we connect to others that are in the same wavelength. They have that high vibrational frequency
that's right.
that you attach to. And it's
Mhm.
like, sometimes I think about it, right? When you're out moving and shaking and doing what you do, I'm like, I know MaryAnn is working. I know she is, out here slaying, if we're a matter of words, slaying the game. What
Yeah,
what are you doing, Rochelle?
right.
Pick your feet up, get it going. All right. And so we encourage one another
Mhm.
to do what we say we want to do. And again, we have strong personal brands. We have strong personal brands. People know us for certain things.
Right.
When we walk out of a room, I know exactly what people are saying
Oh yeah.
about me.
Yeah.
I know exactly what comes to top of mind, right? If you can't answer that for yourself, that's something that you need to like really
Work
tap
on.
into, right?
Mhm. Yes,
Because you have to know your worth. You have to know that value. And you can't let anyone take that away from you,
that's right.
right? And so
Yep.
when you feel the energy of somebody trying to take that away from you or dim your light, you've got to turn the other way. You
That's
can't be
right.
sitting you can't be sitting there and saying, "Oh, yeah, maybe you're right." No, you're not right. Because many times we're challenged, we're tested. People want to tell you, hey, you're doing great, but you need to work on over here or whatnot. It's not the bigger picture. It's the small things that they are like, oh, da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But don't you know I've outgrown this environment and it's
Yeah,
time for me now to move on to somewhere, some other places where I can actually thrive and grow,
that's right.
you know?
Yep. Yep. And people will come at you too. All those unsolicited advice, right? There's a
Uh-huh.
lot of those.
Mhm.
And you know what I say? Other people's opinions of you is none of your business.
Nope.
Let me say that again. Other people's opinions of you is none of your business. And then when she said that, hey, you know what? When I'm feeling lazy, whatever, who is that unicorn that gets in your head, right? Gets in your head. Ah, dang, I know MaryAnn grinding. I better get my butt up, right? And do something. When I feel lazy, I'm like, I know Russia on that dang Peloton already grinding, right? Pick those unicorns that get in your head. Allow that person to rent a space in your head, but they're good renters, right? They're good renters. They're the one that's elevating you. They're the ones that are actually empowering you, activating that greatness within you, right? Don't allow
Mhm.
all the other renters that freaking speak negative about you or don't add value to your life. Why would you let them rent space in your head? Evict
Girl.
them. It's your head. Evict them. You have that power, and that person could be you. Person could be you. And I tell you what, a lot of people, I have a great relationship with God, but you might hear me curse here and there. Right? I have some
Right.
colorful words that I can say, and don't
Right.
judge my heart, right?
Right.
I'll tell you what, those people that judge you, and you know what, you're just gonna have to grab those and pray for them a little stronger, right? Because
Mhm.
sometimes those are the little minions the devils have hired to actually try to take you down, right? That's why you gotta be strong on your foothold and really believe that, hey, you know what, this is what I'm convicted to do. This is the decided heart that I committed myself to do, and nobody else can break you down, right? And then
Yeah.
when you find those little unicorns kind of like doing the same thing as you better hold hands, right? We're gonna lock arms together, because guess what? When you find somebody doing the same thing as you, struggling the same thing as you are in the right energy frequency. You are
Yep.
in that right wavelength. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna lock arms together and you're going to tackle whatever it is that you need to tackle, whatever is going on with you, and you can help each other out, right? And
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of those. But how do you attract those people though? How do you attract those unicorns? It starts right here. How do you protect your 6 inches right here? How do you protect it?
Yeah.
A lot of people can't even answer that, right? Because
No.
they are so negatively right. Mindset. Mindset, I'm telling you, mindset is the X factor that a lot of people are freaking missing. Mindset is either going to make you or break you. Your
Mhm.
mindset is also going to determine what your future looks like, right?
Yeah.
Who you hang around with, you heard that already, right? Your network is determined by the people your network is determined by your network, right? Who you hang around with is how you're gonna be. If you're hanging out with a bunch of like successful women making things happen in the world, you're gonna be the next person. If you're hanging out with a bunch of if money is something that you like really strive for and that's what drives you, if you're hanging out with a bunch of millionaires, guess what? The conversation is different.
It
Conversation is
is.
different. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, you have
It
to be
is.
you have to be protective of your time and the energy and who you actually spend it with.
Yeah. That's why I talk about the environment all the time. Like, who
Hmm.
is in that circle? Who is
Yeah,
who's talking? Who's in the background? Who's making the noise? Half the time they do talking about nothing. It's like mindless talking. And believe me, this is not no shade to anyone who's not in the same space that we
yeah,
are. We were in a different space when and this unicorn phenomenon is like none other. All right. When you understand and know your value and you know what you bring to the table, you ain't going to be settling for a whole bunch of stuff. All right.
no,
So people be talking about stuff. Like I enjoy conversations. I do. But at times I'm like, the conversation is not in elevating. We're not elevating the conversation. It is still the same issues and problems and things that that are always going to be a thing. What
right,
are you doing about it? Like that's where
yeah,
I'm at. You
yeah,
know, when we're our age and we have done what we did when we were in the military, I'll tell you what, there is nothing that I can't do. And we know, right? We understand that the time is not on our side.
hmm,
Every day is a day to get out here and make impact and influence on the world. Unicorns are considered or symbolized as power. They're powerful, mystical creatures
Right.
that that are extinct at times, right? People really are trying to look hard and wide for the unicorn. But once you get the unicorn, you got to be able to hold on to the unicorn. Right? We are not about a whole bunch of mess. We have
No.
to be challenged, right? We looking for opportunities. We want to know how we can help solve your problems, how you can help solve my problems,
Right.
you know? And
Yep.
so, but I just don't understand where people just kind of, there's a caring and feeding of a unicorn.
There is. It's like a crab mentality. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, all day, every day. That's everywhere, right? That's
Mhm.
why a lot of people are so focused. Okay, whether you're still active duty or not, trying to transition into the civilian world. What is the driving motivation factor every single time? It's always going to be money, right? Financial. How am I going to be able to actually bridge the gap of this active duty paycheck to the civilian world, because I'm not going to downgrade my lifestyle, right? And that's how people get caught up in that mess and not bet on themselves, not follow their passion. Next thing you know, oh man, it's just too easy to walk over to the next lane. I'm going to come in and doing the same job in my civilian clothes, right? I'm not
Mhm.
throwing no shade to people who want to do that. Some people are
Mm.
just workers, right?
Yeah.
Some people just want the structure. Some people want, what? I want easy money. I just have to be able to get that to sustain my family. Much respect to you. But for those people who don't want to do that and end up doing that because they didn't know what to do with their lives, or they don't know what they want to do when they grow up, guess what? This is what she's here for, the slave to success, right? I'm in a different world, right? I'm in an entrepreneur world, but she's got a consulting business. She can help you build your brand, find your passion, and all that kind of goodness, right? But one thing that is required though is that, are you ready? Are you ready for that life? Are you ready for that CEO life?
Okay. Okay, MaryAnn.
Are you ready to really hold yourself accountable? Are you gonna give yourself feedback? Hey, MaryAnn, how the hell did you perform this week? Right? Because nobody's gonna check on you. A lot of people don't think that. That's the ugly side of entrepreneurship. We in the military, we serve 20, 30 years, right? There's
Mhm.
structure. Somebody telling you to come to work at 7:30 and clock out whatever time. Somebody's telling you gotta do X, Y, and Z. Oh, by the way, you also gotta volunteer and do all that stuff, right? And then that comes to a screeching halt when you
Yep.
retire.
Yep.
And then now, oh, I want to be a business owner. Yes, I'm excited. Then guess what? You ain't got no structure, because that structure is that stuff you look in the mirror. Sir, ma'am, report as ordered. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because nobody else is going to hold you accountable. Or find your circle, find your little unicorn circle that's going to help you get there. People who have been there, people who have skin in the game. Don't ask no mentor who's never done it.
That's right.
When you make a mistake, don't go in a field and ask a mentor who's never done that game, right? Because they're gonna steer you wrong, or
They
they're
sure
gonna
are.
steer you like, hey, this is why I did this anyway, because I didn't want to bet on myself like that. No, preparation is key, but you gotta be ready to say, hey, you know what? I'm the freaking CEO of this business. I am going to be accountable for myself. I am going to clock in whatever set hours you plan for your business. I'm going to assess how I'm doing. I'm going to set myself a goal and all that stuff. You got to do it all by yourself. So if you're ready, much respect to you. But I tell you what, it's hard
It's
and
hard.
challenging, but you got to stay on, because it's very rewarding as well. Time freedom, nobody can buy it. That's why I love what I do. I love working for me. I love tapping into all of these different things that moves me. Okay. I'm not doing it for nobody else.
Yep.
That's another thing. Don't do it for nobody else. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for nobody else. Follow your heart. Follow your passion. What is it that you want to do when you grow up? Because as we know, tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? Can you honestly say, when it's time for you to leave this world, that you have a legacy that you left behind that you're very, very proud of? If you can't say that right now, it's time to work, man. It's time to work. Put on that unicorn hat. I'm telling you, you won't. You won't. You won't regret it. But I promise you, it's not gonna be easy, but it's
Nope.
gonna be rewarding at the same time. But that's what
Yeah.
life is all about. You don't want easy. You don't want easy. If it's that easy, everybody would do it, right? Just like how they say in the Eagles, right? The tush push, the brotherly shove. They want to bend that dang thing because nobody could do it better than the Eagles team. They want to hate on us, right?
Yeah.
Same phenomenon, right? I
That's
just
right.
in there.
Look, I'm for this all day because you're just telling people for sure. People have it in them, in their hearts and their desire. They really do. I know I've talked to a lot of people who are transitioning. They're really wanting to go out and work for themselves. But I also always ask why. And really, do you have the capacity to put in the work? Do you have the capacity? So, like, my core
Yes.
values are faith, family, and health. Those are my top three priorities in my life.
Hmm.
If I don't have faith, then all my works is dead.
Yeah,
I have to have the belief that I'm going to succeed
that's
every
right.
single day. If you don't believe in your business, you don't believe in yourself, you just might as well just call it a wraps. All right.
Yep,
My family, very supportive. My husband, he like, babe, do what makes you happy,
that's
brings
right.
you joy.
Hmm.
I see you working hard, babe. Here, I'm gonna help you out in these certain ways. And now my son gets to see that I'm actually working as an entrepreneur and doing things that no one has ever carved out. I'm the blueprint. I'm the blueprint for my business, right? I'm my own avatar. I'm helping other women who have been in my shoes that are going through those steps so that they can find their way.
That's
And
right.
then health. I can't do anything in my business if I'm sick, if I don't feel good, if I'm not,
Hmm.
my mind is not right.
That's
If I
right.
don't have all my dimensions of wellness together, you just don't even think about it. Too many times people are asking themselves, I don't know what is going on. I don't know why I'm so tired. I'm not sure. I'm like, well, what are you eating? What are you putting in your body? Because as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
you have to be fit. You need to be fit. You want to be fit.
Yeah,
How many networking events and how many houses do you go through every single day, right?
right.
How many
Mhm.
conversations do you have with folks, right?
Right.
You got to put in the work. I guess too many times people say entrepreneur is easy. Oh, it's easy. All
I
you
don't
got to
know
do,
who said that, but they lie.
you know what I'm saying? You could just
They
make an
sure did.
LLC. Just make an
Hmm.
LLC and then you'll be all right. No, 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 no.
Nope.
You know how
Nope.
many programs I've been in? I've been in like 3 and 4 business programs. You know how much money I've invested? A whole lot of money. Okay. Just to see where I can go and get to the next level. So this is not for the faint of heart. That's why it's exclusively for unicorns. And
Yeah.
unicorns show up for each other. So before I get going even further, I
Yeah.
just want to say for my folks that are here. So thank you, Charles, for being here. Tish, I see you, Queen. Sharon, I see you, my queen. You still hanging out there. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. And I've got Kayron here. Thank you, Queen. And Todd just showed up. Now, Todd, he is moving, y'all. And he says, you are doing the work. It's that part that makes you already successful. Everything else is just timing, opportunity, and relationships.
That's
A
right.
100%. A
Yep.
100%. Right. And he's talking about the timing. So we can talk about that just for a minute, right? Because it's true. It You have to continuously work, put in the work. One day the sky is going to open. It always opens up for the unicorn. The sky always opens up because the universe has said, you know what? You've done what you needed to do to get to this point.
That's
It
right.
happened to me in my career all the time. All right.
Hmm.
You grind and you work in and you're like, oh my goodness, when am I ever going to see anything? Well, when your people get promoted, when people are out here saying, hey, we want you to be part of this team over here. All right. It'll come. Opportunities are endless. All right. We just, like you said, being ready. Stay ready, be ready. Are you
Right.
ready when they come? You know, you just, we want to do all these things. You want all these things, but you don't have the foundations ready to receive. You
Yeah,
know?
and then what's wrong too is like, when people dream big, right? I want to give a shout out to Charles. I know he just retired. Happy retirement, Charles, or soon to be. I know I saw your retirement in Alaska. It was a bit cold, but congratulations, my brother. I know you're entering the entrepreneur world too. So, you got us, if you have any questions or anything or advice that you need from us, we got you. But what I was saying is this, right? Um, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like standing up business, right? It could
Yeah.
be just a simple goal. It's January, it's 2024, y'all. A lot of people get so hung up on New Year's resolutions, the to-do list, the to-be list, right? But a lot of people choke on what is required to get there,
Mm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
before they even start writing their goals down, when I tell them, all right, write your goals. Okay, what are the steps to get to there? Right? Because now you're expanding it, right? It's almost like a freaking chart. All right, let's do the tree. One goal right here. Let's do another freaking arrow down below. What are the steps to get there? What are the steps to get to that step? And then next thing you know, you got a big old tree, and then you're looking at that one goal, and people choke on that because they're so focused on what is required instead of focusing on what you could be after you've done what's required, right?
Mm.
They're so focused on that reward. We are a very, very entitled nation. Focus on that reward, that quick scheme, and then they quit halfway,
Mm-hmm.
right? You've
Mm-hmm.
seen all those memes where somebody was digging in this freaking mountain looking for that diamond, and then they've been digging, 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 and they quit, and they're like an inch away from that diamond, but they quit, right? So, the moral lesson here is the fact that, hey, you know what? That one requirement I told you from the get-go, have a decided heart.
Mm-hmm.
Have a decided heart. Expect the challenges, expect all of the shortcomings, but also celebrate small wins.
Yes.
Those small wins, man, I'm telling you, small wins could be as little as this. I don't know if y'all do this, but when I have a to-do list and I wrote the stuff down and I'm going through my to-do list, but I did 3 things that's not on my to-do list, guess what? I'm writing that stuff down. I'm writing it down and I'm gonna check it off. Because
Yep.
guess what? It does something to the brain, right? It does something to the brain that you accomplished 3 things out of that 10 things on your to-do list, right?
That's
I
right.
do that. I know it sounds stupid, but it does something to send something to the brain signal that kind of like, all right, MaryAnn, you've got 3 out of the 10 tasks, right? Even though you didn't write that to begin with, but you added it, right? So there's a whole lot of like different techniques out there, but guess what? Just like what Todd was saying too, you just gotta freaking start. You gotta start, right? You only need that first step. There's gonna be a whole lot of steps, but focus on that first step to get to the next step. The next thing you know, you're halfway there. Next thing you know, guess what? That climb is so worth the view of what you're gonna find on top, right? So you
Yes.
got, you gotta do it.
You do. And and Glenroy is in here. Glenroy, thank you so much for coming in here tonight. He's one of our faithful listeners as well. He says, stop looking at what everyone else has going on in
Mm,
comparison to what one's own self has going on. Each
yes.
one of us has an abundance of talents and abilities that we tend not to tap into because we are paying attention to everyone else.
Everybody else. That's right.
Do what you have to do for your own progression. You know what
That's
I
right.
mean?
Spot
I'm
on, man.
I look, I got my clapper in here. It's a lot, but I'm like all of this.
Comparison is the death of joy for real.
It sure is. People
Yep.
always looking at somebody else's test, if you will. If you want to compare it to looking at somebody's test while you're taking a test in school or in college, whatever. And then, you don't even know what kind of test they got. You think they got the same test as you, and then you come to find out they have a whole different test.
That's right.
I think people are just looking in. It's another thing. When people see you doing something, then they automatically they start doing
Yeah.
it. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, well, that's
Mhm.
fine. That's awesome. Like I'm clapping you up because I feel like that's a start. But
Right.
is it something that was genuinely put in your heart, or was you just doing it because you just saw somebody else doing it?
That's
It
right.
ain't going to be consistent because unicorns, we are very consistent. You will see here and see the same thing from us. We do not change. We are not chameleons. We come out and we know what we want. So, I love this comment, Glory. So thank you for dropping that in there. And Keith has got one here too. One thing I'm learning is not to expect you from everyone else. What advice would you give in creating real relationships in any area of business from what you have experienced?
What advice would I give? It goes back to like old school, the basics, man. It's truly creating that personal connection with that person. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it's so much power in how you connect with people, how you treat your how you treat people. Coming from a place of love is a big thing for me, because it's not always about opportunity, right? Because you don't know what room God is placing you to be, right? You just Sometimes it's just gonna land on your lap that you got invited to whatever networking event. You don't know who's gonna be there, right? But when you go there, you have to be prepared. Okay, what is your intent? Why are you going? Why
Mm.
did you think this would be of value to you? Because at the end of the day, when you start really getting out there in the civilian world and meeting all of these different business people in different industries, everybody is almost it's gonna feel like you're in a Shark Tank, right?
Mhm.
Because when you meet business people, they're always going to have one thing in mind, right?
Yep.
And that's normally money,
Money.
right? Money, 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 right? How do you actually create real relationship with those people? Is truly connecting with them on a personal level. What
Yeah.
besides their business, what made them start? What are some of their core values? What made them do that? All that type of stuff. It's like those real chit chat near the water cooler type situation, right? Because
Mhm.
I truly believe when you build that trust foundation that way, when you're personally connecting to people, guess what? You're gonna be the first person, the top of mind when, oh, you know what? I know Keith. He just retired from the military and I know he's doing X, Y, and Z, right? He's got this consulting business. And when I talk to him, this is what I felt. Because it's all about emotions when you're in that room of those people. When
Oh,
you're in that
yes.
room of that Shark Tank, I'm
Yep.
telling you, it's all about that emotion and how you made that person feel. Whether you made that person feel like, oh, I don't trust her, or I might feel a little too much about herself, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Finding really giving a little bit of yourself of, hey, you know what? This is what I believe. This is what I do. This is what moves me. And I would love to share with you why this does to me, right?
Yep.
And I promise you, it just freaking multiplies from
Yeah.
there, right? Because it's very hard. I'm telling you, it's totally different. Coming from a military where we have a sense of belonging, and we all kind of know what we're there to do. In the,
Mhm.
in the entrepreneur world, boy, when you say doggy dog world, it's worse than that. Okay. And then you gotta know too. You gotta know your worth. You gotta know your value. You're gonna know how to set boundaries. You're gonna need to know how to, like, what, if someone basically, you know um trash talk you or whatnot, you're gonna have to know how to hold your composure, right? And then believe that other people's opinions of you is none of your business, right? Because you're there to add value. Once you ingrain that in your head, that you're there to add value, and that person that you're creating relationship with, that you're truly trying to add value to them,
Yep.
game changer.
It is a game
That's
changer.
my advice.
Yeah, and I would say
How
this.
I experience it.
Yep. And Keith, also, it's about quality as opposed to quantity. All
Mm-hmm.
right. It doesn't matter how many people you know. All right. Because that's what some of the things that people fall into is, I know so and so, I know this person, I know that person, or whatnot. But what is the quality of that relationship that you're in? Is it someone that you can truly talk to about certain parameters of where you're going? Someone who can give you sound advice and give you nurture, they can nurture you. They're feeding you with information or knowledge that you can use. So I'm all about quality. All right. Because there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of people out here, MaryAnn, and a lot of people doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, they can have you over here in left field somewhere, and you just be by yourself, and you'd be like, "What? I don't even know what happened." So, Latrice, thank you so much. Well, first, Keith, thank you for the question. Keep the questions coming, y'all, and the comments coming.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh, Latrice is here. So, hey, Queen, I see you. Thank you for being here. And Josh said, celebrate small wins is fuel to the fire for the big wins.
That's
Successes are
right.
failures that never gave up.
That's right.
Oh, Josh.
It is
Okay.
very,
And
very important.
yeah. And then Glenroy put another comment in here. Okay. Developing those relationships requires that you are authentic in becoming an asset to others. It does not have to be based on money.
Mm-hmm.
If you can share a word of support, of uplift to someone, they will remember you and in turn be willing to be a mouthpiece for your business.
That's right.
Speak
That's what I was
to
just talking about.
people and they
Mm-hmm.
will speak up for you and your business.
Amen.
Amen.
Spot on, girl.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just these are not like complex. These are not complex processes or systems that we're talking about. It's really truly, do you have the interpersonal skills?
That's right. It's that referent power. Remember that
Referent power. Yeah.
from our position of arms, when we used to teach that, it's not about positional power. It's all about that referent power. And believe it or not, a lot of people get so caught up on, okay, how does my resume need to look like? I don't know how to translate my military resume to whatever. I got degrees, I got all this or whatever. Those are all just like check marks,
Yeah,
for the boxes that they require. But
that's
do
right.
you have that charismatic personality? Do you have that referent power? Are you able to move people around you? Do you spread that energy that that company needs of you? Those are what really sets apart when you're going
Oh,
for that interview. Because guess what? Every freaking body has everything single box checked off. Because
yep,
everybody knows, okay, you got to get this paper, you got to get this cert, you got to get this. And then you go to an interview, there's nothing there. You're empty. You have no weight. You're not bringing content to that company because they know that you've already checked the blocks. But how are you going to stand out?
yeah,
Unicorns stand out because guess what? They know their value, they know their worth, they know how to communicate that value, and they also know how to put a price on that value.
that's right. And it
Okay.
may take, you know what I mean, Marianne,
You can't give all homie hookups. You might
no,
do that in the beginning. Hey, get a little taste of me here and there. But guess what? When your audience starts to get big,
yep,
that these people are paying money for what you bring to the table,
yep,
the game changes, right? I'm
big
not
time.
talking about being greedy, but just knowing your value. When you're going up for a position, right? What are the average salaries for that specific position? And you can do X, Y, Z above what's required. How are you going to quantify that?
Yep,
It's hard.
it's
Know
hard.
your value and
Yeah,
don't be afraid to speak. Yeah, I'm worth this. That's
yeah,
not being cocky because you know what you bring to the table. Have belief. When you have belief, you're halfway there. I promise you.
listen, and for a second, sometimes we might doubt ourselves. We may look
Oh
back
yeah.
and go, you know what? People are telling me that that's all I could do, that's all I could be, that's all I'm worth, really. And then when you really start to think about, do the Rolodex, y'all. Go back in time. All right. Think about all the different scenarios you were placed in and how you were able to maneuver and navigate in that space. And then tell yourselves, I have been able to do this time and time and time and time again. These are things that we have, these traits that we have, these ability to move people, to influence people, to make people understand, hey, you have power, your personal power. That's why I'm so heavy on the personal branding, y'all. The personal branding is you.
Mm-hmm.
It's you, your character.
That's
All
right.
right. What you say you want and how you want it, how you carry yourself. And when you do in such a manner, everyone else looks around and goes, wow, wow. And when you say top of mind, That's what we do. That's what we're trying to do. That's how business works, really.
That's right.
Is you on top of mind. Like you said, everyone does the same thing that you do. Like, how many realtors are in Florida, Marianne?
Just in Tampa alone, there's about 16, 17,000 of us. Orlando, there's 18,000. There's thousands of realtors in the state of Florida. How do you stand out? What's your niche? A lot of people think that there's so much clout in this landscape, right? In this industry, but they don't know the work that goes behind that. How many hats I wear. I'm not just writing contracts. I'm somebody's freaking life therapist. I'm someone's freaking financial advisor. I'm someone's loan originator. I'm someone, I mean, what have you? You know it. Babysitter. It don't even matter. I have all those hats, right? But so many people try to downplay. This is the only industry. I'm about to be in my soapbox here, girl. You done open
Get
it.
on it. Let's go.
This
Let's
is
go.
about this industry is is so crazy that I've never been part of an industry where someone or people would basically downplay your worth, right? And try to take your money, your salary or commission that you earn from that deal because they think that they can negotiate that with you. And it's because there are agents out there who just have license IDs and they are desperate to make a sale and they would make drug deals right like that, right? But they don't think about the big picture of how that affects the entire industry. Like, would you go to a doctor and say, hey, yeah, I would like to hire you to do whatever surgery on me, but when you're done, because I'm giving you the business, I want half of your paycheck.
Mm.
Only in this industry that happens. It's disgusting. I've been approached by a lot of clients, potential prospects, that I gladly say, I'm not that one. I said,
Mm.
I respectfully decline. Thank you for thinking of me, but I am not going to sacrifice my license because you're trying to do a drug deal under the table because you think that you don't need a realtor to represent you to buy a new construction home. That I'm
Mhm.
just signing my name in a contract. I
Yeah.
don't have to put you on there. You're just signing your name in a contract. So when you get paid, I want half of it. No, agents have done that and they've risked their license for that. We go to jail for that. Okay.
Mm.
So if you're thinking of that, there are people that probably are thinking that or know people who have done that. Please stop doing it, because it's such a huge disrespect in what we do. I know the value that I add to the table, just like all the hats that I just told you guys that I wear. I
Mhm.
take pride in what I do. I take pride in the value that I bring to my clients. I take pride even if I save them $1 in their pocket because it's a big deal. The negotiating shenanigans that we have to go through as realtors, boy, sometimes that keeps me up at night. Okay.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is not a snicker bar decision for my people, right? I know it's the best and the biggest investment that I'll ever do. So I take that seriously.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm out of my
Well,
soapbox now.
that separates you from so many of the realtors. My sister's a realtor. I've got many friends, other friends that are realtors, and that's all you have to do. I mean, you could just make money off of somebody else, but at the end of the day, how do you feel about that, right?
Right.
How,
Yeah.
how do you like want to go forward and be like, you know what, I feel good about that decision that I made when you know
Right.
good enough well that that is something that is not in alignment with your core values,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
And when we
Yep.
sway from our core values and we say that we're not going to stick to them, they know core values. All right.
Oh no.
I
Yep.
mean, so some folks out here, like I said, some people are saying things, but are they incongruent with what you're actually doing? That's
That's
what I
right.
want to see. All right.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
we talked about this unicorn. And so you got an acronym, if you will,
Oh yeah.
that you want to share of what the unicorn stands for. So let's get
Yeah.
into it.
So you know what? Like when you ask me to like, hey, can you hop on? And I'm like, I there's something that moved me, right? Everybody knows what unicorns are. Unicorn, they're rare breeds. They're like the mystical creature, right? Little girls love unicorns and stuff like that, right? But what does it really mean when someone says, hey, you're a unicorn leader, right? should you actually take that as a compliment, or like, what is that? Some people don't know how to take that, right? Because unicorn don't exist. Are you saying that I'm a unicorn leader because I'm not a leader that exists, or I'm not present? What is it, right? But there's so many things. But unicorn to me, like, I just kind of like broke this down, like really like 10 minutes before we actually got on the show, right? So this kind of like what moved me in my heart, what unicorn is, what the traits, that encompasses what a unicorn is. But the you is unyielding commitment,
Mm.
right? Unyielding commitment. You can't find that with anybody else, right? You're a unicorn if you have an unyielding commitment to whatever it is that you attach yourself, whether that's a goal, whether that's your job, whether that's your responsibility, whether that's your position. You have an unyielding commitment to whatever that is, right? Then the end, a unicorn has a nurturing spirit.
Mm.
And this is when I say you come from a place of love, right? You're a nurturer. You see through that person or that thing from different angles more than a non-unicorn person sees it, right? You know how, have you ever come across someone that, hey, you know what, you're a great leader, but you just don't got it there on the personal connection level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of people, they're not nurturing at all. And have you ever thought about some of the great leaders you've had in the Air Force? Those are the ones that kind of stuck in your head, is because they had a nurturing spirit, right? They kind of
Mm-hmm.
touched you in a way and left that legacy in your heart that, you know what, Sergeant so and so had my back, even though I was a screwed up air, right? And then the I, you have to have an inspiring presence. What does that even mean?
Mm.
Like when you walk in a room, when you talk to someone, when you stand right there at Walmart waiting for your next, waiting to be the next person to get processed or whatever, do people feel that energy that exude out of you? Do you have that inspiring presence? And that comes with that personal branding she's talking about. You can't be going out there with a personal brand looking like Wilhelmina Fufu. You know what I'm saying? Like
You said, well,
you
man, foo-foo.
like you always have to carry yourself, whether that hey, you know what, I'm an unapologetic leader, I'm going to carry myself that way, I am proud to be this, I dress well, you dress the part, and you basically walk the walk and talk the walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are unicorn traits. And then the C, you have to have a charismatic soul.
Mm.
Charismatic soul attached to that nurturing spirit. I So many people in our experience, every single person have had that instance where that charismatic leader gravitate a lot of people in that room and move that room, and they've always left that one thing about that person, right? Are you that person? Do you have a charismatic soul? Do you touch people in a way that they felt like Jesus just healed me, right? Do you have that as a unicorn leader, right? And then,
Mm.
obedience to God, man. I'm telling you, God will put you in rooms that you feel like you don't deserve, but He knows what He's doing. And then also, God will give you the signs and the letters and all the things on the wall when you're not obedient. Are you paying attention?
Mm.
Because you get the signs, you get the warnings, you get the vision. Are you paying attention? Are you being obedient to the path that He set out for you? Right? And then R, resilient. Are you resilient? I'm telling you, every single path that we're on, you have to have resilience as a unicorn leader, because it's not easy. We've talked about that already, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always talk about, hey, you know what? Are you that lone leader that climbs this mountain and then you get tired and you quit, or are you that one that keeps climbing it because you know that the view is worth at the top, right? Because I'd rather be that unicorn or that lone wolf doing my own thing, following my dreams, following my passion, than be another insignificant part of that herd going in the wrong way. Okay? You
Jeez.
have to be resilient.
Yes.
And it comes with that. All right. And then the last one is, are you noble hearted? Are you noble hearted, man? Do you really come from a place of love? Are you genuine? Are you kind? Are you all these things, right? Because guess what? People will cancel you, right? Cancel culture.
Mm.
We've heard all that stuff already, right? They will cancel you with a quickness if you're not noble-hearted as a leader, as a unicorn leader. So those are the traits that kind of like resonated with me that I wanted to share with all of you guys today. Um, if you're missing one of those, maybe you're just missing one to be that unicorn, right? Maybe you need a little bit help in nurturing that spirit a little bit, right? Because we're so structured, we're so like gung ho in the Air Force, so structured in like getting stuck on the rules and the standards and the regulations that you forgot to actually connect to people, right?
Yeah.
Are you obedient, resilient, charismatic, all of the above? All of these are important, right? So if you want to be that and you want to stand out, it's not that hard because all of these character traits, we have it in them. Some of them are just a little bit buried. Some of them are overlapping each other. Some of them are probably grossly overrated than the rest. And that's all they see. But we need to harmonize all of these traits so
Yeah.
you can stand out, right? So you can have that rainbow that's coming out, exuding out of you when you enter a room or when you talk to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Woo.
what I got.
Girl, and listen, and you did that 10 minutes before we went on a show.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
I wrote all
Girl,
these.
while I was watching the Dallas game, the
Right.
Dallas kind of got me excited because they were losing. But yeah, I did that right on the couch. But
Right.
when your heart is right and when you're moved by the spirit, it just comes.
It really does.
Yes. So I that's why I wanted to share that with y'all today.
Yeah, you done blessed a whole bunch of people because Josh wrote it out here for us.
Yes,
And as you
you got
look
it
at
right,
it,
Josh.
you know what I mean? If you can't get these things together, if they're not working together for the right reasons, for the right, you know, just way of doing it, it's all for naught, y'all.
Yeah,
It's all for naught. It's just wasted because
yeah.
you're gonna get no results, number one, and you're not gonna move the needle, number two. And if so
Mhm.
many people say that they about their business, they minding their business, whatever that means, or you stand on your business. I heard that stand on your business or stand on business. It's a kind of like a phrase out there that my
Yeah,
son was talking about.
yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? Then
Hmm.
so these are traits. These are qualities. These are things that you can implement and exploit at any time. And
And it's
so
free.
it's free
Yep.
99.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Hmm.
So, my cousin, she's a realtor for the DMV. In fact, she's the one who helped us find our home here. And
Nice.
she said this was such a wonderful episode. So thank you so much,
Thank you,
Karen, for
Karen.
being here. And Glenroy said, we out here preaching in pink on this evening.
That's right. Amen.
Amen. All right. So Glenroy had a comment here earlier. So I just wanted to put that up too. Everybody that has a degree does not check in to find out how people are. Okay. I check in with all departments every morning when I get in just to say hello and get a feel for the emotional temperature of those that are in the office. No other supervisor or manager do this. So you got to check in with your people and be present. Yes, that's a unicorn. That's what unicorns do.
Right.
We
Hmm.
walk around, we check the people, we talk to people, we want to know what's happening, what's going on, get the pulse. We always know what's going on. They ain't ever gonna call us out and be like, you don't know what your people do. We know what they doing. All
That's right.
right. Because
I love that she does that. So it's kind of like wanted to just share this real quick. When you assess an environment, right? When you assess the climate, especially if you're just a new leader that just came in there, right? You're not gonna know right away if that temperature is hot or cold, right? You're gonna have to kind of sit back a little bit. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Is it perfect, right? So be that leader that is a thermometer. You get to move that needle. If it's too hot, you can move it down a little bit, cool it off a little bit, right? If it's too cold, let's hype them up a little bit, right? Be that thermometer leader, not the temperature leader, right? You don't go in, oh, it's cold here. I guess that's the temperature I'm gonna be. No, you have that power. You have that discretion to move that needle. So be that needle. I'm glad that you're doing that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I am too, because it's a lost art. Sometimes people just don't feel like that's something that's part of what they should do. But I
Hmm.
tell you, it's pays dividends. The benefits are enormous if you're walking around and asking people exactly how they feeling, how they doing, how they moving, so
Yep.
that's definitely something that it needs to be continued and then passed on. Hopefully you are building up other unicorns, because people are
That's
going to
right.
kind of see that and take notice, right? So
Yep.
that's what we're here to do. This is this is a land of people who just want to do and be and act like somebody else, right? We're talking
Exactly.
about you being your whole unique self. That's why you call the unicorn. You're rare. Nobody's seen you before. They don't even know how to take you at times,
That's right.
right? So, I know we got folks in LinkedIn, and I can't see your comments, but thank you for being here. I don't know what's going on with the comments, but I know that you're here. So thank you so much for being here. All right. So, okay. So let's talk about a little bit about what a unicorn needs.
Mm.
Okay. So we just kind of explained to everybody what a unicorn is and how they act and so forth. But if you're someone who is noticing the potential for someone to be a unicorn leader just by the way that they are right now, you have to care and feed the unicorn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or we gonna get uninspired quickly.
That's right.
We
Get
because
drained quick.
we get
Hmm.
drained. We we
Hmm.
we are we are not about sitting there and mind and doing unmeaningful work. We're not.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We have to be challenged. We need opportunities.
Right.
We need our skills to be expressed. We need our talents to be expressed. Sometimes the folks are like, we want you to be authentic. We want you to bring your brand in here. We want you to do all these things. We want you to work your magic. I don't know how many times I've heard that in my career. We need you
Right.
to go over here and work some magic over here, because this team over here is like the bad news bears. All right. So go in there and take care of all the things, right? But at the same time, what are you doing to care and feed for the unicorn?
Oh yeah.
you know and when you tell the unicorn to fall back, you can't tell the unicorn to fall back, because you want us in our full right, because we're highly desirable. But then all of a sudden, what you do is do this.
Hmm.
You put them in a box,
Yep.
and then they're
Take a
not
chill pill. Yeah.
they, what happens then you kill the unicorn. That's what you're doing. All right. And that's not why you got them in the first place. So have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah. So I think the caring and feeding of the unicorn first starts with that every unicorn is different, right?
Mhm.
Just like how every single person is different. Everybody will require a different diet, a different, form of exercise or what have you, right? To sustain the health of that unicorn. But I truly think that you cannot, as a unicorn, you cannot depend on someone else to actually do the caring and feeding for you, right? And here's why. Because the unicorn kind of like can do its own thing, right? We're not driven by because of someone telling us what to do or whatever, right? We've talked about all that stuff today.
Mhm.
But when I tell you that, hey, you know what, how do you feed me, how do you care for me, you're gonna be quickly disappointed, because just like what Keith was saying, you cannot expect you from somebody else, right? Because
Mhm.
we're all uniquely made. You cannot expect you cannot expect 10 unicorns of you, right? Every single unicorn are going to bring their own strengths and their talents on the table. But how do you, as a unicorn, is probably a better way of asking that question. How do you care and feed and maintain you, right? And
Mm.
this is where the whole self-care comes into play. You and I are both big on that, right?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
how the whole boundaries come into play, right?
Yep.
Knowing to say no, knowing not to like take that project. Not all opportunities are great opportunities. You got to make sure that the one knocking is the right person knocking on your door, and that is not a person disguising to be an opportunity for you, but an opportunities of you, right?
Ah.
You got to pay attention to those,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but I think the biggest thing with unicorn is not knowing how to establish self-care. That's very, very big on in my life. I'm very big on time blocking. Time
Yeah.
blocking self-care for me, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
non-negotiable. If y'all have non-negotiable to get your coffee at Starbucks every morning, my non-negotiable is like I gotta have my good sleep at night, and I'm gonna go to the gym, right?
Yep.
Once I've done my gym, hey, guess what? I'm ready to go. Unicorn on, right? But boundaries is the big thing that a lot of people fail on, because a lot of people, most unicorns with a charismatic soul, with that, nurturing spirit, guess what? They're going to feel compelled that they got to say yes to everybody.
Yep.
Hard skill to learn. Hard skill to learn. You, it's almost like I learned that skill after I've been burned 1,000 times, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because when you're a true unicorn and you're coming from a place of love, and you know that you're moved by the spirit to help people, come on, y'all. You guys know that not everybody have your best intentions, right? They're always either trying to come after you or trying to like smooth you
Mm-hmm.
because they want something you got, right?
That's right.
That's why you gotta be careful of those opportunities that are being presented like it's a good thing for you, but they're just trying to pull from you because they
Yeah.
got something you got that you don't even know that they're trying to do that from, pull that from you. So make sure the boundaries are set. Keep your circle tight. Not everybody is there clapping for you, is in it to win it for you. But guess what? Allow them to see. Allow them to see in your house. Allow them to see what you're doing. Because guess what? You might not know if you're going to be able to change that person or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
But love your enemies, love your haters. I love them. I invite them. Right? Because you fuel me, you fuel my drive, right?
Yep.
You might listen to them here and there, but how you listen and how you take that criticism or that hate or that shade is what's either going to make you or break you, right? Make sure when you actually take that shade here and there is something that you're using to fuel you so they can keep watching from the front seats, right? And then
Yeah.
have some next time. VIP
That's right.
ticket.
Yes, right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. Because if you depend on somebody else to actually, man, I'm telling you, you're gonna be highly damn disappointed, right?
All day, every
all,
day.
all day,
You
all
know
the
what I
time.
mean?
But guess what? You can get your caring and feeding from the other unicorns laterally. People next to you, people that you're bringing up, people that's mentoring you. That's how you get feeding, right?
Yeah.
You might not necessarily come directly from whoever, but you just don't know. You just need to know how to fill you, right? It's a refillable cup. It's not a half empty, half glass full type scenario. So
Yeah. And that's so good, to hear the advice of making sure that you're good and you taking control. And that's the other thing that I wanted to harp on as well, is like we have control of our lives more than we think that we do. We
mhm,
can't control all the situations that happen around us, but like you said, we can control the way that we respond,
that's right.
and and show up for ourselves.
That's
And
right.
so some folks are just scared to even hear the sound of their voice. And I'm
Yeah.
like, your voice is the most powerful, energy, because it tells not only your
Mhm,
mind and your heart what you want,
mhm.
but then you invited it all in. You're like, yep, you know what? My voice, it matters, and the way that I expressed it, and this is what I want. When you tell the universe that's what you want, when you tell God that's what I want, things like that, they start turning around. All
That's
right.
right.
Speaking life into your own self.
That's
And
right.
that's, you know what I mean? And not waiting for
Yeah.
somebody else to come out there and do it for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, Glenroy, again, love these comments and adding so much value to tonight's conversation. He says you have to speak into and acknowledge people in such a way that allows them to feel comfortable and confident enough to apply for better positions and remove any subconscious ceilings that may be holding on to. In taking care of myself, I make sure I get my gym time in, and I have incorporated chiropractor visits as well. After
Mhm.
working maintenance, which I can attest to, my
Yep.
best hold back holds a lot of stress. And since adding chiropractic visits to self care, my stress is less.
Yes.
Yes. Now
Yes.
you know what works for you, and you know what you need. And you
That's
got to
right.
honor what you need. I think sometimes we don't want to give our bodies what it needs, even though our body tells us that we need certain. Body tells us we need rest. Body tells us that we need more nutritious food. Body tells us that we need to release some of this emotional baggage that we got going on.
Right.
It goes on and on and on. But if we don't give it what it needs in the time that it needs it, again, you won't see the shine. The shine will be dimmed out. It's gonna be lacklustered. It ain't
Yep.
gonna be looking right.
That's right. Yep.
So, y'all, we were on here for over an hour. All right. I knew we were
You
gonna
can't
be
put us
doing
in
this.
the same. Yeah. Oh man, boy, my bad. But that was powerful though.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
didn't feel like an hour.
yeah, I mean, but once we got rolling, and that's just the way we are, y'all. We are very passionate beings. We love what we do and how we're doing it. Our energy has been just this synergy that we've had since we met when we were at Chief Leadership School. And
Yes.
that's been, now it's probably 6 or 7 years now. And just knowing and you understanding where I'm at, and I know where you're at, it's just a beautiful thing. And so
Yes.
I can't thank you enough for being here tonight, and actually, just pouring into everyone in the community, and loving on us. And Glenroy said, let's have church for professionals again. I look forward to these times. It, you
Amen.
know, it always helps on Sunday because I went to church this morning, y'all, and and when I get back from home, I'm always thinking, how can I align this into the conversations that I have on the show? And so we
Yeah.
did talk about the pastor today talked about um, core values, relationships, and lifestyle. So you know. Yeah, we always talk in church up in here. All right. But church for professionals, I love that. But yeah,
Uh,
no, seriously, thank you so much for being here, Queen. And
it's
for
my
all
pleasure.
my peoples that came, that showed up to show out and had time with us tonight, make sure you go back and you share with
Yes.
people that you think will gonna need this and who will appreciate this, and making sure that the unicorns do not go into an existence mode. They
That's
already don't, believe that they even exist in the first place. But when you're told that you are a unicorn, best believe that you are. There are certain unique qualities and characteristics that you have that are highly desirable. So if they are, that means that you have to protect it at all cost. All right? And
yep.
you got to make sure you know your value and your worth, and never ever let anyone take that away from you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I
And
am so blessed and humbled to be here again, as
well,
always.
yeah, because y'all
And
know.
but thank you for having me. I appreciate our time together. Hopefully that y'all got some tips and tricks,
Oh,
here and there, and hopefully that we were able to inspire you to be that unicorn person, because we all have it in us, right? We're not that it's not that we don't have it. You just gotta be able to pull it out. So thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. I
of
just saw the
course.
scores that Dallas lost. Okay, we might have a lot of Cowboys fans here, but that's all love coming from an Eagles fans, right? So no, thank
Yes.
you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Manny, making
Manny's
time
in. Diamond
count.
One was in the house. And of course,
Yes,
y'all know, if you have not
yes,
seen his show, he was on our show a few weeks ago as well. Go back into the YouTube and go check that out. That was an amazing show too. And got my girl here, another veteran. She went Air Force and then went Army. So thank you so much, Kim, for being here with us tonight. And thank you for the feedback. All
thank
right,
you.
everybody. As you all know how this ends. Thank you, Marcia, for being here. Keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. All right. And when you feel like you need someone to help you out and support you, you reach out. All right. With no hesitation. And we got you. All right.
Yes.
So take care, everybody. Stay safe. And we love you all. Bye bye.
Bye.